Well, hello, my fellow Americans and fellow Christians. Thank you for taking time to join me today. My friends, most people do not realize we are living in a mind altering age. Drugs, alcohol, hormones, supplements are altering the sound mind in our age. How many of us have experienced a party or get together that has gone awry because someone got out of control? Or how many of us have seen the whacked out drug addicts firsthand? Yet an amazing fact is a sound mind can be altered without the use of any ingested drugs, drink, etc. There are other forces that can alter the mind. Religion can alter the mind. Propaganda can alter the mind. War can alter the mind. Education can alter the mind. The American public, in my estimation, has not come to grips of the disturbing fact distortion of facts has developed a mind-altering society and Christian religion in our time with no censorship whatsoever. Information in our society and Christianity has become warped by bias, ignorance, prejudice, and greed, just to name a few. There is an ancient prophecy, my friends, that says towards end times, man's intelligence and knowledge will be hidden and faith will not be found. It just seems to me that the rich and powerful in both society and religion, no longer hungering for bread, have decided to disturb the nation with their psychosis of power. They seem to have the most poisonous disorder, causing social upheaval and a love of insidious misleading conduct and calling it proper. But our problems go deeper than this corruption. The warning shot years ago was shot across the bow that men like Trump would manufacture lies because there would be no code or ethic except content of character to combat it. Knowing that the fervent association of propaganda would be used to promote vain and deceitful power. It is all too familiar in our time, and we are living in the shades of the ancient prophecy I just mentioned. We are living in a time where failed politicians wage a war of propaganda against society. It's not limited to the politician. It is the religious as well. It is all encouraged by the power of media. There is no intellectual brawl by the commentators, no censorships, giving a bully pulpit to their guests. There is no preservation of decency whatsoever. Our problem lies in the fact the country being uneducated has played a role in our mind-altering age. The average citizen does not have the ability to make judgments on the information they are fed. They do not have the unbiased information or education. They need to be a responsible citizen or Christian making solid judgments. It has been detrimental to the country. It has produced the nation we live in today. We are living in a time of deliberately manipulated propaganda twisted by unscrupulous and cunning politicians and religious leaders who manipulate a false gospel, televise it, molding public opinion the way they want it. P.T. Barnum was associated with the phrase, "A sucker is born every minute." This is definitely the description of our time. The phrase was also reserved for tricksters, which we have no shortage of. To note, we will not have peace in our country or the world, for that matter, unless we combat propaganda and realize the price we will have to pay to identify false information. No one today wants to consider this. It is a careless status quo. If we are unwilling to challenge misinformation, the question is, will this help usher in a new world order empowered by AI? AI with directives on social behavior and conduct? There does not seem to be anyone willing to arrest the downfall of our hopeless state. Everyone sees the social unrest escalating out of control. The daily news and social media is loaded with it. This just may convince the powers that be to legislate and implement change through the process of AI power and knowledge. In reality, the practicality and stagnant education of the country, with the continual multiplying of guns and murder, what recourse does the nation have? One would think Christianity would play a role in building the character of a nation, but we all know too well it is declining at a rapid pace. We may be headed towards a politically empowered AI that will change the face of the nation and the world. Algorithms that will target the belligerent in society, marking them, mitigating either conformity to social decency or be incarcerated. A centralized control presented as a necessity for the commonwealth of the nation. AI control that will regulate the irresponsible in both business and private sector. All subordinate to the power of the AI network, eliminating the cheat and deceptive practices that steal. It will generate a balance of power between politicians and private enterprise. AI will project the adaptation of proper views, methods, and interpretations. Citing these will combat and are a necessity against disruptive and negligible citizenry. AI will dismantle the dominant political life and for political education of the old order. AI will outline peace and a new world order, not the elder statesman. There will be the resolute regard for fundamental living. AI will show a new way of living, eliminating violence, murder, destructive practices. It will suggest it has the power to eliminate anxiety and mental illness. AI at this moment is used by the military. The medical field uses it for prognosis. Businesses use it. Car manufacturers use it. Even the stock market investors use it. The government uses it. AI will use policy and methods to solve practical difficulties. We have, though, to keep in mind the influential ruling class of people will refuse to accept the powerful use of AI information as a means of utopia. Just recently, all the tech giants from across the country met in Washington and presented to the House, informing ailing politicians who have no knowledge of internet power how AI will have an immense impact on all sectors of American life, even the world. Nothing came of the meeting. It was flat, and the elder statesmen seemed to have no interest in its use, its potential, its power. It is the current generation that will most likely turn to the power of AI to help with the imperfections of society. They will believe in its ability to balance power. It will come down to a generation saying it is offensive, backwards leaders who cannot grasp its ability. That is what is holding us back. That nationalist individualism has to go, and AI must be implemented. Many will see it as the only means for a national control of utopia. We are definitely living at the end of a period of history. AI is the new revolution, and it will change civilization. It will be touted as a new way for world peace, but in reality, it will be a new world order. However, the utopia all will be hoping for will not be realized. Human behavior will change only to a degree. The conduct of man will not be altered. The character of man will be put under the control of AI technology, curbing his or her appetite for violence, death, destruction, or their own extinction. But the ideal here is that AI will attempt to control human nature. Electronics or technology can only force man to a degree. He will still have his own desires, and it will be up to each individual if they want to follow the suggestions of an AI society. AI utopia will only last for a short while. AI will be like the inception of television. Television was monitored to only present good, intellectual, moral, and healthy living. It was monitored to preserve standards and ideals of living in the country. It lasted for a time, till bad characters came to power. We now have television with immoral and destructive programming that is used as propaganda to alter and confuse society, to promote false agendas and narratives of power. We have been told by Christ that the last days will be as the days of Noah. We find when we observe that time, there was not a righteous man on earth. Human behavior was out of control. Our Bibles say that the world was full of evil men. There is an ancient prophecy that says towards the end times, nations will ask each other if a righteous man is among them or has passed through. Certainly the unrest we see in the world lays credence to this possibility. But before I go any further, I must mention the world we live in has to sooner or later be reconfigured or reconstructed. The United States may be the leader of AI technology and implement AI far ahead of other nations. But in order for the world to streamline AI, you got to eliminate Putin and Xi of China. There has to be some type of comprehensive world upheaval that will usher in and convince the world of AI's power, its ability to unite the world and bring forth world peace. AI in general will alter the way of living. It will most likely eliminate faith in God, yet it will still have human behavior to control and put in check. We see this with Babylon the Great. We read in Revelation 18:2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, Babylon the Great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit, cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Here is the identity of human nature in the future, completely void of morality. And then we read in the next verse, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth had committed fornication with her. Here we have the possibility AI will influence the world and destroy faith in Christianity. For our Lord says in the last days, Christianity be hated throughout the world. I do not know if the United States is Babylon the Great. Many do. Irregardless, we do at this time rule over the world, have technological power to oversee and control many nations. We are informed of Revelation 13, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. To blaspheme his name. It's given to make war of the saints and to overcome them. Here we have the prophecy of blasphemy against God and the hatred of Christianity. So we see this is in the future. Blasphemy of God and the spirit of the Antichrist is already present in our time. We are also informed that AI power that has just been presented is a power over the entire world. As we see that we are told that towards the end times, everyone is to be asked to be given a mark so that they can be controlled by the power of the Antichrist. So we see everything that we have been talking about has been coming to pass in this day and age and time, and that the future does hold a powerful change concerning AI and technological power. My friends, we are entering a new period of time. The end times may be far way off, but irregardless, AI is a powerful step towards the last days and the changing world ahead. AI is the coming future of the world, but what we should be aware of, it has already arrived. My friends, if you are far from Christ, may you return. If you call upon Christ today, may he impart his faith within you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.